much for coming to the 8th edition of the Art Performance here at UCI. This is an event that began in 2015 with my colleague Jenkins, Professor Emeritus, and myself, and it's really exciting to have the 8th edition happening. It's really so nice to all be here. We're also excited that for the visiting artists for tonight, it's Roxanne Steinberg and O'Word. And they're going to be performing a new work called Merge. And I'm really excited that they're sharing their movement practice with you tonight. They have been working in Butoh style, but have kind of developed their own style of movement, and you can see that in tonight's performance. And then also we have another performance tonight, and that is going to be performed by and directed by Simon Young, my colleague here, who has been working with Zach Benson, and creating a new work called Coping, and he's been collaborating with undergraduate students that will be performing this evening. So thank you all very much for coming. And I just wanted to let you know that the show is about 1 hour. There's no intermission, so it's tight. And please take this opportunity to sign from this. And then also please join us for a conversation after the show. So with all that said, thank you very much, and I'm excited to have us, and honored to have Gregory and Roxanne perform and share.
1, 2, all. Northern Lights. King. A beggar. Home. Now. Polar bear. Camera. Stay up all night. Lucy. Out of control. Running away. Keep it up. I love you guys all. I love you guys all.
抬头看，那是棕榈树的叶子在风中摇曳；专心听，那是蝉鸣和狗吠；低头闻，那是烧烤和啤酒的味道。我喜欢一朵花，我不必将它摘下；我爱一个人，我不必永远和他在一起。山上的星星格外闪耀，城市的霓虹灯也是五颜六色。但月亮总是在那里，是月亮一直在看着我们，就像我们一直看到的那样。
Sending you to the U.S. for high school at the age of 13 was the decision of your parents. At that time, there weren't your options. Surveillance cameras were installed in the front and back of the classroom. One-way mirrors were used on classroom doors. The goal of the silent violence was to erase the self. But how can you face a completely new and open culture after spending all your previous life in collectivism? The culture shock had a tremendous impact on your soul. So you choose to wrap yourself in a cocoon where you can mentally stay away from chaos, counting on the joyful memories of you with your family.
I am writing this to inform you all that I shall be graduating soon, and shall therefore be freed from my constraints. When I am released, I will stop at nothing to ensure that I reclaim what I believe is mine. In this case, it is all the time that was stolen from me by the one known as the American education system. I envisioned a world where the art world never suffers from things such as AI art and big corporations like Disney or Netflix. To realize this, one must gain complete control over the art industry. I'll be brief and simply state that I have a plan that will see this vision realized. To be fair, said plan involves crushing anyone who gets in my way, but when one is a visionary, one must be ready for others to challenge your vision. It's only natural for resistance to exist. That is why people invented ideologies to give themselves something to fight over.
December 5th, 1999, my birthday. I don't know what I did wrong. It is also the day my parents divorced. I don't know what I did wrong. I often hear the police knocking on our door in the middle of the night. I don't know what I did wrong. My mother has been physically abused, and I feel helpless to protect her. I don't know what I did wrong. I long for warmth and love, but I can't seem to find it anywhere. I don't know what I did wrong.
I've changed, but I haven't changed. I'm still peppy as ever, but more private and reserved. I think that's thanks to all of us collectively, my overwhelm and the response I got back. I don't think I make people cater to me anymore, but now I've caught myself turning into Clark Kent, trying to save everyone from damnation, letting myself take the fall, take the hits, roll with the punches. Someone told me that I never take care of myself, and that's when I realized I am so different now.
We live in a country of immigrants. This country has seen serious incidents of racial hatred against immigrants. Even until recently, these things were still happening. Even if you go back to the source of the incident, the people who have been hurt will not change what has happened. We live in panic all the time. Although our lives go on, emotions and memories are always affecting us. It doesn't feel good to be ostracized and hated. But even so, don't overlook the good while around us. Talk to trusted people when you feel uneasy, and they will tell you that you are not alone. Loneliness may come from the environment around us, or from the differences between ourselves and others, but this should not be our burden. Life is still going on.
This is a simulation, digital life. Like a drug, the dependency resides. A power so prevalent, yet malevolent, or perpetuated facade, quite literally flawed. If constructed with intention, where is the connection? Distance proceeds, as a sense of yearning pleads, longing for authenticity, for answers, for genuine connection. A digital world, a mere creation.
Our hearts weigh heaviest and confess, which regrets and pains should be addressed. Victims of disturbing circumstances are results as products of simulation. Struggle persists when finding meaning in this unfortunate realization. Why was it trying? Test, only sighing. Media posts of family happiness, content. Where was that sense? Distance still haunted. It will only continue to haunt.
Superficial ties, a mask that often hides the discontent and disconnection that lies within. Striving for reality, don't know where to begin. Adversities disregarded, blissful ignorance.
Technology, where is the authenticity? What value remains, clinging onto history to when it rains?
To navigate is already a start, a digital life, obligated to play a part.
The ancient city walls of Datong, the sliced noodle restaurant next to my neighborhood, and the time when, on weekend evening, cycling at Wenyin Lake with 3 or 5 of my childhood friends. The pace of life in a small city, one step at a time. People are satisfied with the stability. The memory of Beijing at 7 in the morning, when I look around and see a crowded city. The roads leading to the center of the city were jammed with people sweating like rain, struggling to crowd forward, chatting and playing at the classmate in the school shuttle bus. The bright lights of Hong Kong at night in Victoria Harbour. I miss the roast goose over rice that I'll craving for if I don't eat it for a little while. This charming city was a blend of ancient cultures, international and diversity. The sunshines of California. Sometimes I can spend the afternoon lying quietly on the beach. The warm sunlight makes me want to open my eyes.
Although you and I may not be able to communicate through words, somehow I know you know. The days I had done nothing, staring at the wall, spinning slowly, around and around. The days, the people most important to me, some have not come back to see you again. I know you know that life moves on. Night seemed a little darker than usual. I know you know. Jump and run. I know you know. You never bit me back. So even though you may not have been able to tell me, thank you.
When a couple of drivers asked me why I have a Spanish name, and I didn't find a satisfying answer, only one specific reason, that is, I like what it meant.
The conversation about the technology's application is evolving, and public opinion is becoming more vocal.
What is your Chinese name? Why did you come here? How long have you been American? Who are you living with? Are you going back?
The question about the impact of technology on human employment has shifted from whether ChatGPT will replace human workers to which specific jobs will be affected, highlighting growing concerns.
A few words, not bad pronunciations, and a great passion.
Some artists view AI-generated art as a mockery of human creativity. In addition to copyright concerns, it seems reasonable to distinguish painting from other fungible labor.
Have a good day. We use it every time instead of saying goodbye. It seems more sincere to say it in a face-to-face.
The possibility of machines replacing human creativity threatens to erode the comparative edge that humans possess.
I would say looking forward to seeing you on another day. Then we can talk a little more about my Chinese name, about how I got it, and what it means.
If I had a dime each time, intentionally and strategically tricked a man at a bar, buying me a drink, I would have 20 cents. If I had a dime each time offered a drink by a man, I would have $5. I can get into clubs, bars, parties for free. You have to pay. I can be vulnerable, cry in public. You are called a pussy. I can stay at home all day and not be judged. You must go out and find a job. This easier life perpetrated by you. It's the man's duty to make money, said the man. Or is it because the man will get paid more than the woman? I adhere to standards set by you. I am seen as a commodity. Did you give me value? If I am not your type, I have no value. Value. You have to work to earn it. Make my life easier, harder. Deal?
Woman of Iran, for your smile, for your nurturing soul, for having a voice, even when oppressed, for bringing back the power of hope, for taking a stance for your rights, for fighting for your worth, even when evaluated as less. And finally, thank you for taking off that scarf.
I swear we've met before. Do you remember me?
I wonder what that must be like. Everything is being destroyed for houses or shipping. Anything to make a profit.
Maybe we know each other from a past life, braided each other's hair with flowers, fetched water from the same well.
Animals are dying, plants are being demolished, and people are to blame. People are exterminating whole species, whole lives.
Isn't it wonderful how time and space align for our lives to intersect, even for a brief moment?
We are the issue, and for that I am sorry. But there is good to be found. This is the world I would like to know.
For now, I will be grateful for a moment to share the same universe, to wish you well from afar.
This is the world that we should be.
You shouldn't be afraid of exploring new ideas for the future. Tackle subjects that you would usually avoid. Mess with your audience when creating work. Create your medium to better suit your idea or vice versa. Ask for help. Work with others and consider ideas other than your own. Step back and take a break from your work if you feel stuck or lost. Take a leap of faith.
I sit here in the chair of my office job, looking out of a window where fellow students walk past, contemplating what my future holds. The desire to have a mental breakdown comes to mind, as well for the fear of living up to the future that my parents set out for me. The dichotomy of wanting to support your parents for all the support they've given you throughout your life versus wanting to be independent and living out what you want for yourselves. I sometimes feel parents pressure their children to do better and to achieve what they couldn't have becomes a burden as we strive to live up to those expectations. But at what cost? They want a house, a new car, grandchildren, and all things associated with the American dream.
After 3 waves of feminism, gay pride, and the AIDS movement, we thought we had come so far. Then you happened, our kids, who stand on the shoulders of all those past fighters for equality. We are proud that you claim that gender is fluid, or that you are no gender at all. And yet it's hard for us to be the old people now, the other again. It's finally okay to be a strong feminist. Then we're told gender is a spectrum and feminism is over. What the fuck? My son came out to me at 13. I was his safe parent. His dad was the tough one, a real man's man who thought he could check out girls with his son. I'm so proud of my son for coming out and feeling that I was safe to tell. We were progressive. Look at us go. Then my son got a girlfriend. What? Man, the conversation with his dad was a trip. So the boy has a girlfriend now? Phew, that was close. But I knew our son was still gay. Now, when gender issues come up, I'm verbally smacked for not using the proper language. Union label, when you are buying that coat, dress, or blouse, remember somewhere our union sewing, our wages going to feed the kids and run the house. We work hard, but who's complaining? Thanks to the ILG, we're paying our way. So always look for the union label. It says we're able to make it in the USA. Look for the union label when you are buying that coat, dress, or blouse. Remember somewhere our union sewing, our wages going to feed the kids and run the house. We work hard, but who's complaining? Thanks to the ILG, we're paying our way. So always look for the union label. It says we're able to make it in the USA. Now when gender issues come up, I'm verbally smacked for not using the proper language. But I'm progressive, man. See, still using gendered language. It's fucking hopeless. I really want to understand, even if we get it wrong most of the time. My son is pansexual, but no, Mom. Labels are convoluted. Just call me bi.
I hope you don't lose that sparkle, that wonder. I wonder if you believe you don't have time for you anymore. Use me as an excuse to do all you want. Sky's the limit. I hope your heart doesn't ache too much. I wish I could tell you this. Maybe one day we'll talk and cry together. For now, cry alone. I want to tell you how proud I am of you for following your dreams. Continue doing what makes you feel, even if it means partly destroying people's dreams. I just hope they go well. and that you are finding small but certain happinesses in every big thing you do.
Thank you all very much. Two very different kinds of explorations, and I'm very, sorry. Okay, let's settle it. First of all, thank you, and thank you for Roseanne and that. We realized it was an hour. Idea of creating a performance series where we could explore notions and what does it mean to do about it, to make live art. And I've known Roxanne and Ocean for quite a while. I've watched their work evolve, and it's hard to believe actually how long it's been. It was 92. Feels like 5 minutes ago. But it was just such a great honor to have them be here and be in this community and share. And especially in contrast to something with like yoga, which was this wonderful generosity to students. And over in Roxanne, their work is so based around generosity with movement, no matter what your level of technique is. And it's always been this inviting of community to come and be part of their practice and their movement practice, as well as for Simon and Zach to create this really wonderful opportunity for students to experience this community, this kind of rare and awakeness that happens in this kind of sacred space with these black boxes, this performance situation. So I really, first of all, thank you for doing that. And I'd love to just maybe start out with Roxanne and Aurora and just talk a little bit. I know this is a brand new work we saw tonight, and I didn't ask them that long ago to be part of the show. It feels like, but I'm curious as to how you work and just the title merge and seeing this piece, both of you merge and right and left and coming together and up and down and all of that. And back of the theater, I never loved the back wall so much, right? So if you want to spend a few minutes and then we'll talk to you how the open evolved as a collaborative project.
So yes, how we start this work? Roxanne decided this title now. Maybe I should tell you my practice, our practice. I start more like a visual art, performing art. My first interest was studying visual art. A long time ago, in the 80s. xMPL is my teacher. He was a conceptual art. He was very active in the 60s and 70s, especially 70s. My practice started studying with him. And he has like a performance art at that time. 薄い土方です。ずっと漫画。Big influence of Buto. The other hand started working with Mint manga. Buto movement was in like 70s, 60s and 70s movement, which you know what in America has a like postmodern dance, but I'm not coming from the postmodern dance field. But the performance of the Buto, and then met the Mint Tanaka. He was more next generation from this avant-garde movement in Japan after the 80s. When I was working with me, he was very much connected with visual artists. And again, visual artists is just an installation. That is a new work. It's not like a statue or not set, like an installation. Especially Monoha. I don't know how much you are familiar with artists. Monoha artist was working together with Monty Weather. Monty Weather is my practice. I did just workshops and some students. So that Monoha is work with like some things or material, or combining the material that are making a shape or presence of object is something similar right now, but minimalism. But Monoha is a very example, like it's a very famous Korean sculptor, Lee Uha, or Lee-fan, or Enokura, or Takayama, the Japanese artist too. So they got a big influence on how to make a performance work with things. I don't say object yet. Things. How to work with a piece of clay or water or some like a paraffin or something, or transform material. So this time, particularly start working with this canvas, 12 by 15 canvas. How we can work with these. That is kind of first song, and with Roxanne's title. Usually I don't work with a concept. Improvise or collaboration to like a shifting and something comes. And then then find out some meaning or reason. But first piece of motivation is piece of material. I see that this space is very long depth. There was changing the dimension of space a little bit. So that's first idea we made, how body can work with. So this time we started creating that. And a lot of aspects is improvisation. We had a huge chance to use it as a theory as well. So we don't have such same-side space. So this was challenge and keep work alive. So this is a black box. This is very much science-specific work. We do a lot of science-specific work, outdoor, and
Inbound.
Desert. Or museum.
But it was really great that
a strong background in visual arts and dance. My first dance teacher was a visual artist as well, so coming to dance through an understanding of space and growing up in Los Angeles and having a really strong background, seeing all kinds of visual art. When I began working with Ninjanaka after having studied with many different modern dance teachers, postmodern dance teachers, all kinds of dance. But when I saw a very strong improvisation practice that was similar to my practice, I went more deeply into that work, and the training there then was body weather, which I began to explore. And so that's not a stylistic thing. You're not learning how to create something that looks minimal or create a certain style, but rather it's a physical training that connects you with space and how to use space in time, and also awareness. So dancing in space, not dancing in the space, but being able to be present all around. So awareness behind you, awareness all around, and awareness of every heartbeat, of every breath in the audience. And that kind of need to be with the people on stage, with the space, and with the people in the audience is the passion that has really driven the continued practice. And that's what body weather trains to that kind of sensitivity.
So without, sorry, I guess you couldn't hear me. So without that kind of wanting to start with the concept, but really wanting to get to the essence of being here in the moment is at the base of the continued practice. And so coming up with words quickly, often Oguri is the one to come up with the title, inspired by wind or inspired by light or whatever it is. He comes up with something poetic, and I'm always like, oh yeah, that sounds great. In this case, it was something inspired. I was recently in India and Malaysia, and I can't remember when the title came up, but all of a sudden I was like, oh, it's Merge. And I called him, must have been my 2 a.m. and yeah. And I was like, okay, this is the title, and I gave a description, which when I reread, I was like, that was a bit inspired. So I changed it a little bit and modified it. But that's kind of the genesis of this piece. And then very often, Oguri was surprised. He's like, oh, I'm working with canvas again, my old friend. But each time it's not just canvas. It has a new dimension, a new presence in space, and in the way we touch it, and in the way we think about it. Each time it's a different thing. So, yeah, I think that's
really kind of very beautiful description of the tactile nature of your work, and not only the presence of your body in space, but the objects in space. And even just using the red gloves, right, just opened up the space so much. So it was really incredible choices. And of course, when Gori kind of comes towards us in the audience, that's a whole other sense of spatial awareness. And so the whole piece became very sculptural in a sense, which was really beautiful. So let's pass the mic to Simon and Zach to talk about the open, the collaborative project with so many great collaborators.
You can start. Okay, it's a little weird that I'm sitting up here because I don't really think of myself as the artist of this work. I really just think of myself in relationship to this work as a facilitator. In any case, I had an idea to have a class called The Open, where we read texts such as Umberto Eco's The Open Work of Art. We read from Rosalind Deutsch and Sammy Siegelbaum their writings on the artist Christopher D'Arcangelo. And I knew that Simon Forti was going to have a show at MoCA, so I thought this would be a good opportunity to introduce that work. But mostly, I really just think about my students. That's all I really do, and how I love my students, and even if I don't know who they are, I want to dedicate one class a year where I just facilitate them being able to express whatever it is that they think, but in a collective manner. So I think I forgot what I said exactly in the description, but it has something to do with how students, young people, students of every age have gone through a lot in the last few years. And I want to have us think together, rehearse together, read together, and be able to talk about something that everybody individually might really care about. And we take the idea of the self as a site. Perhaps I was inspired by the ancient Greek idea of what the soul is. So the soul, for example, is where the self meets the non-self. So I think about this very much. I didn't tell my students that exactly, but I think about that as a sort of operating principle, that we are with others, and the others are also within us. And I'm basically thinking about how do we do something together, because I want this type of otherness to infect actions, movements, words. And I wanted to work with Zach because I'm the chair of his thesis committee. And I thought, you get a lot of work done by just being together and working together. And the word with is very important in this project, but in general, I think. So I think of the open as a mode of being with.
Yeah, I don't really have much to say other than it's come a long way, and I'm really glad that you guys were all here to see it, and thanks.
That was really lovely. But I think the essence of, first of all, Zach. I mean, Zach did the video, put all the videos together, which made this beautiful brought all the performances together. But anyway, I think the essence of what everybody's saying here is that it's quite amazing to be back in the theater. It's quite amazing to be live again, even though it's been like a year and a half we've been taking our baby steps towards it. And it's really, I think between both what Agori and Roxanne is saying and what you both are saying is the other, the self out and the self in, and this reflection of community and this reflection of making a space where people can share their creative being is all kind of facilitated here, and it came through even in the chaos during the rehearsals, but it really did come together. So thank you both. It was great working with all of you, and it's great that UCI is supporting this, keeping the space open, which is really important, and it's great to see you. But I just want to say one more thing to Simon. 3 years ago, like tomorrow, we did the pronouns in here, and we did it live stream because the school shut down the day before, and the show went on, and we couldn't have an audience, or we had a very minimal audience, and it's really nice to be back here 3 years. Even though we've done shows in between, we did one online, that's streaming, and then the next year streaming, and then last year was a durational piece, so it was just the audience walking through, not sitting down, and so this was kind of a relationship between really sitting down with the audience. So
pronouns to merge in the open. So, moving on. Thank you. Yeah. Whoa. What's going on? Yeah, okay. All right, bye everyone. Thanks so much. Enjoy. Have fun going to the parking lot.